Well, guys, I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs have a Super Bowl hangover. Seems like they just drank some OJ and slept it off because this game was great for them. They get a win week 1, 34-20 over the Texans. And this was all about the Chiefs. Listen, the Texans, they came out, scored first, but stop me if this sounds familiar. The Chiefs came back and outscored them and did not look back. Let's bring in our analysts for tonight. We got Steve Mariucci and James Jones ready to drop all sorts of knowledge on you. Guys, you ready? I'm so pumped up. We finally have a game to talk about.
Let's go,
this
Colleen.
Is awesome.
We have football.
Let's get to the highlights. All right, guys, there is Arrowhead Stadium with some fireworks there. Big night there, raising the Super Bowl banner, their first in 50 years. Some fans there as well, of course, not at full capacity, only 22%. There's the Texans there, breaking the huddle, leaving the field before the anthem and lift every voice and sing. The Chiefs, they stayed on the field. Alex Okafor there, the only player to kneel. And then the Texans, they came back out after both songs were played here for a moment of unity. They did get booed by a few fans that were there in the stands. But it was a nice moment there as both teams, they linked arms. And then we got to the game. First quarter, Texans ball, no score. And check out newbie here, David Johnson, rushing it in here for 19 yards. JJ, you like that?
Hey, DJ looked good tonight. I told everybody he was going to come out ready to play, ready to go, fresh legs. He was rolling.
Yeah, that was one of the few bright spots for the Texans. Second quarter here, Chiefs down 7-0, and Patrick Mahomes hits Travis Kelce, Mooch.
Well, this is a great red zone combination. Well, anywhere on the field for that matter. But you know what? The Texans scored first, but then all of a sudden, here come the Chiefs. Look out.
That's right. This was the next Texans possession. Deshaun Watson pushed out of bounds. It just takes a seat next to his buddy.
What's up, brother?
That's adorable, guys.
Hey, show love.
What do you think he's saying? Hey.
All right, so they're having a little moment there. Next Chiefs possession here. Patrick Mahomes hits Sammy Watkins, who dives it in for the 2-yard score. So the Chiefs there, they take the lead 14-7. So they led by 10 at halftime. They're all huddling up there. What do you think about this so far? How you feeling, Mooch?
Well, you know what? They're feeling good about themselves because they started a little bit slow, but then they got on track. And this guy right here, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, what a rookie debut he's got.
Man, we're going to talk about him more. I mean, he looked so good tonight. There he is for the 27-yard touchdown. Take a look. I mean, Justin Reed misses there on the touchdown run. Ooh, my goodness. Okay, so fourth quarter, Texans.
Thing they wanted on that play. You got a tight end blocking a safety, and Tyrann Mathieu just throws the tight end out of the way and is able to get pressure and hit Deshaun Watson's arm and cause an interception. Great play by him, but man, come on. Our tight end has to be able to block a safety all day, every day. That's
right. And then you just saw Tyreek Hill there for the touchdown. So the Chiefs, they would go on to win it 34-20. This offense, I mean, listen, it seems like they just picked up right where they left off. They were rolling. This was a special offense. It's been a special offense. But then they went ahead and added Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the first time Andy Reid has ever taken a running back in the first round. And he looked really good tonight. JJ, what do you think about this offense with Helaire out there?
Oh, man. Well, first off, as I'm watching the game, I'm like, the only people that can stop the Kansas City Chiefs is the Kansas City Chiefs. So if they decide to beat themselves one game, then that's when it's going to happen. But if they go out there and they're clicking on all cylinders, man, it's going to be tough for anybody to stop them. And this kid right here, number one, we're going to have to get him a nickname. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire, listen, in this offense, like you said, you are going to have six-man box. When he was at LSU, he never got tackled by the first guy. He came out here in the National Football League, he never got tackled by the first guy. He always made that first guy miss. And if he can continue to do that in this offense, they are going to go back to the Super Bowl, and he is going to win Rookie of the Year.
Just think, this kid was just a one-year starter at LSU, okay? And he rushes for 1,400 yards last season, but he also had 55 catches. Now, that part of his game didn't show up tonight, but Andy Reid's got it under his sleeve because this kid's going to be dynamic coming out of the backfield. He looked like he belonged as their starting running back. Damian Williams opted out, as you know, so he gets the start. He's going to be a great runner, but you wait. He's going to add add to that great wide receiver core and become another great receiver out of the backfield as well.
Edwards-Helaire tonight, he had 25 carries, 138 yards, and you could just see here the comparison to the Chiefs starting running backs in 2019. And Damian Williams, who opted out of the season, he had a great year, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of the gate, I mean, he had 10 carries in the first half. That was more than any Chiefs player had in the first half of any game last season. They can't stack the box against him because of Mahomes. And Mahomes, he looked good tonight. Mooch, when you take a step back and look at how he performed, I mean, what's the scouting report on him? He's still good, right?
Picked up where he left off. I mean, come on. I mean, that was pretty funny when Deshaun Watson just sat right next to him. That was pretty cool. But you know what? He got started off mostly with Travis Kelce. Some safe throws, some inside between the number throws, and then he started spreading it around. He got Tyreek Hill involved later on in the game, Sammy Watkins later on. And you know what? They've got so many weapons. Here's Robinson chipping in. But they changed the launch point. He's all over the place. The versatility in this offense is incredible. I love watching them. They're so hard to stop because of weapons galore. And you know the good news, Kansas City Chiefs fans? A lot of these guys, most of these guys are under contract for long term. They're not going anywhere. This team is going to be here to stay. Look out.
Yes, I mean, as I watched the football game tonight, I mean, it's trouble for every team in the National Football League for a long time to come. Because when you look at this in this instance, you got Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the backfield. Now that is going to make it easier on Patrick Mahomes because obviously what you seen tonight, you cannot keep 6 in the box anymore with this young fella or he's going to keep having a 100-yard game and touchdown. So you have to play some man-to-man on the outside and take your chances to stop this run. And then you got the best quarterback in football back there dealing to all these weapons on the football field. This offense is dangerous, man, and it's scary. And I know Andy Reid, man, he's up at night like, listen, I could draw plays in the dirt because I got all the players and all the weapons in the world to go out here and do it, and the quarterback to make all these throws, man. This Chiefs team, I'm telling you right now, for years to come, there are going to be problems.
Yeah, and Patrick Mahomes, he's always good, obviously. But in September, he has at least 3 passing touchdowns in 7 of his 8 careers. And, guys, we know all about Andy Reid off of the bye, and this just feels like a really extra long bye this entire offseason. But on the other side of things, Deshaun Watson, things look a little different from his perspective because of the skill position players, because of no DeAndre Hopkins. And he has these new guys out there, Brandon Cooks, and they didn't really look that great tonight. So is it because they just didn't have enough time during the offseason to build that chemistry? They really haven't played enough together? Mooch, what was your feeling on Watson tonight?
Well, it looked like they missed DeAndre Hopkins because they weren't very effective throwing the ball down the field. Randall Cobb was really missing in action, and Brandon Cooks will take time to work into the scheme. And Will Fuller and Kenny Stills just have to get it done. They don't have a choice. The good news is the back, David Johnson that they added seemed to be a little bit like David Johnson of old. He looked fresh, and he looked like he was ready to go. And I think they're going to get a lot of miles out of him, too. That offensive line, for the most part, did a good job. There were times that, it's a revamped offensive line from last year. But Steve Spagnuolo's defense, we talk about how versatile and crazy Andy Reid's offense is. Well, their defense is crazy too. Talk about, they don't show you same coverage or same front or same personnel 2 plays in a row. They're very multiple and versatile on Steve Spagnuolo's defense, so they're going to give any quarterback fits. And Deshaun Watson and his bunch, they're a good football team, but they're not quite in the Kansas City Chiefs category right now. They're really not.
Yeah, and we talk about Patrick Mahomes and the offense picking up right where they left off last season, but it feels like the Chiefs' defense did the same exact thing. And Steve Spagnuolo, the way that he was able to help transform that defense last year, and obviously Tyrann Mathieu was a big part of that, and we saw him have a terrific game tonight, but they, I think, really have brought that momentum and into this season, have been able to kind of use that. And the Texans, on the other hand, they have not really been able to, it's only 1 week, I shouldn't say that yet, but it's one game here, one sample size, but it's not exactly what they wanted, the results here, because they have 3 new offensive weapons here. I mean, crucial guys around Deshaun Watson, David Johnson, Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, who, yeah, Brandon Cooks and Randall Cobb were really quiet tonight. JJ?
Yes, and this for me, listen, let's get in the locker room. Let's everybody take a deep breath. It's week 1. There's no need to hit that panic button yet. It is week 1. After their first drive, everybody's on Twitter like, oh my goodness, this offense is more explosive without DeAndre Hopkins. And then as the game went on, they slowed down. Kansas City Chiefs defense settled in, started to making it hard on Deshaun Watson. And now everybody's saying, oh man, they miss Hop. And that's part of the game. Hop is one of the best receivers in the game. But listen, they are going to get on the same page. We seen tonight that they can be explosive on the offensive side of the ball. They are going to be fine. It is week 1. You ran into the champions. There's no need to press that panic button just yet. You got a lot of good signs from David Johnson. Brandon Cooks will come along. Randall Cobb will come along. The chemistry will come, and they will go out there, and they will be that explosive offense that I believe that they can be. But listen, world, slow down. Ain't no need to hit the panic button. It's week 1. Good game by the Chiefs. All right, they got after them. Let's get back to the drawing board.
James Jones here making me feel a lot better about just like life in general. I feel like I should just dial you up when I'm really stressed out or something, because I feel great now about the Texans. Hey, maybe this is just one game. They can brush it off. Mooch, what do you think? Is this a sign of things to come, or are they you think they'll really be able to get it together?
I think they'll get it together. They're a very well-coached team. There's a lot of good players on that team. You know, and Houston won the division. They've been winning that division over there in the AFC South recently, and it's going to go right down to the wire with Houston and Tennessee and Indy. Those are 3 teams that are going to fight for that division. It's going to be close, and all the teams are pretty similar and pretty capable. One thing that we didn't see that we usually see when we watch Deshaun Watson and his Texans play offense, we didn't see those Houdini-type plays, those great scrambles and first downs runs by Deshaun Watson and a scramble, a big 20-yard catch downfield. Kansas City did a good job of containing him, spying on him, just staying in coverage when he broke contain. There wasn't any big splash plays by Deshaun Watson that we usually have come very used to watching him, and they've minimized that, and that was a good thing. But Houston's going to be okay. It's a good, talented team. Remember, they just got to win their division, right? And then again this year now, there will be 3 wild card teams. That's an additional team. So I think they're a playoff team. I do. But we just saw the champs flex their muscles at home, and they're going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, I mean, that AFC, it's tough. It's only 1 week, 1 game in the books, but we'll see what happens from here. Now, of course, a lot of eyes were on the pregame, and almost more so than the game. It almost felt like on social media, because this is what happened. So you saw a little bit in the highlights before, but the Texans, they were on the field. They broke the huddle before Lift Every Voice and Sing was sung, before the national anthem. The Chiefs, though, they stayed on the field for both songs there, and you can see them linking arms. The Chiefs had 1 player that knelt. That was defensive end Alex Okafor there. So then the Texans came back out on the field for a moment of unity with the Chiefs there. So they all got together on the field, had a moment of silence, and it was nice. As you can see there, everybody sort of linking arms and standing together as one. And then we had shortly before the game kicked off tonight, a handful of players on the Miami Dolphins and their head coach, Brian Flores, announced in a video that they will remain in the team's locker room for the playing of the national anthem this Sunday ahead of their regular season opener against the New England Patriots. Now, in the video, they explained their decision to remain in the locker room during the playing of the national anthem, as well as the playing of Lift Every Voice and Sing. So here is that video in its entirety.
Is it authentic? That's the mystery.
Or is it just another symbolic victory?
Now there's 2 anthems. Do we kneel? Do we stand?
If we could just right our wrongs, we wouldn't need 2 songs.
We don't need another publicity parade.
So we'll just stay inside.
Until it's time to play the game.
Whatever happened to the funds that were promised? All of a sudden we got a collapsed pocket?
The bottom line should not be the net profit.
You can't open your heart when it's controlled by your wallet.
decals and patches.
Fireworks and trumpets.
We're not puppets.
Don't publicize false budgets. Ask the pundits, and we shouldn't have a say.
If you speak up for change, then I'll shut up and play.
If we remain silent, that would just be selfish.
Since they don't have a voice, we're speaking up for the helpless.
It's not enough to act like you care for the troops.
Millions for pregame patriotism. You get paid to salute.
Lift every voice and sing.
It's just a way to save face.
Lose the mask and stop hiding the real game face.
So if my dad was a soldier, but the cops killed my brother, do I stand for one anthem and then kneel for the other?
This attempt to unify only creates more divide.
So we'll skip this song and dance.
And as a team, we'll stay inside.
We need changed hearts, not just a response to pressure.
Enough. No more fluff and empty gestures.
We need owners with influence and pockets bigger than ours.
To call up officials.
And flex political power.
When education is not determined by where we reside.
And we have the means to purchase what the doctor prescribed.
And you fight for prison reform and innocent lives.
And you repair the communities that were tossed to the side.
And you admit you gained from it and you swallowed your pride.
And when greed is not the compass, but love is the guide.
And when the courts don't punish skin color, but punish the crime.
Until then, we'll just skip the long production and stay inside.
For centuries, we've been trying to make you aware.
Either you're in denial or just simply don't really care.
It's not a black-white thing.
Or a left-right thing.
Let's clean the whole bird.
And stop arguing about which wing.
Before the media starts wondering and guessing, they just answered all your questions. We'll just stay inside.
A really powerful, powerful video there from the Dolphins players and Brian Flores. We'll have much more on the video, what it means for the rest of the league as the rest of the Week 1 games approach coming up Sunday and Monday, as well as we'll hear from Bill O'Brien, the Texans head coach. He's at the podium right now. We'll hear hopefully from him on why the Texans decided to do what they did tonight. And of course, we will also talk about the game. That's all coming up next.